triplest of KOists. I am joined by Matt McMuscles as usual, Justin Wong, who is already embarrassing people with Azucena, and my name is Max, and I have played the story mode. So
me too. My name is Max, and me too.
I haven't played story mode.
Tekken 8 is out. I think a few of us have had access to the game pre-release for a little bit. Although for me personally, you know, one of the biggest draws of this game is actually its big narrative and its big story mode. So I was waiting till I had friends over to actually play through it, like in a group, and we did. It's shockingly digestible. What did you think of it, Matt?
It's insane. I have not 100% finished it yet. I think I have a few more chapters left, but I needed to square that up with like checking out the other modes a little bit, so we'd have all equal footing to talk about today. But like, because a lot of it has to do with you, in that you played that hour chunk at the preview event a few weeks back, and you were just like all positives, like this is crazy, this is stupid, it's the dumbest, it's the best.
Yeah.
And even after the demo, just Jin throwing the motorcycle, you're like, yes, please let this be the tone setter, and it very much is. I thought it was a little from where I stopped. I thought it was a little after that moment. It was a little slow. It's like, Jin, you kind of suck. You need the whole. It seems like the story mode is how Jin got his groove back.
Yes.
So up until the like, Jin, you just kind of stink, and then when it starts to get going, specifically with a tournament that happens, the King of Iron Fist tournament, not a spoiler, but the way that's handled, I think I'm not sure we should talk about it because it's so fucking hype and you're not expecting it, and then the big moment after that is just as like crazy. You've seen little snippets of it, especially in the intro, but overall I was really, really enjoying it. Like, absolutely the best narrative story mode Tekken, I think.
That ain't hard. That's not hard, but
it's a low bar.
In reality, like, well, I'm actually curious on Justin because I'm actually fascinated by this because Matt is at the top of the iceberg right now, and the iceberg goes really fucking deep with the end of this story, and I absolutely love it. Justin, how much of it did you play?
I haven't played story.
Oh no!
I only been playing matches and just like learning the characters and everything.
I think I did say that.
Yeah, but I definitely want to play story mode, like, and arcade quest really bad, because I think that's how you unlock Super Ghost Battle is from arcade quests, right? So yeah, I'm super excited to try that, because the time I played Tekken 8 story mode, it was like the first 3 chapters.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
And that one got me hooked. I was already like, I need to play everything, so I'm really excited to just like sit down and just like one shot this story.
For sure. And at least I can tell you, Justin, without it being too much of a spoiler, that the first few chapters make it seem like you're going to be playing Jin only throughout the entire story mode as a Jin story. To be real, it pretty much is a Jin story. Like, everything of the story is building up Jin to be like the savior. So it definitely is very Jin focused, but you do play as other characters. So at other points, you will get the chance to like fight with other roster and scenarios.
And what's cool is that, unlike, say, a couple of instances of Mortal Kombat doing it, where they sneak in those extra characters, like, that's fine, that makes sense, get them a little bit, but they don't have, like, a chapter chunk, for example. They just find neat little ways to sneak in that kind of makes sense, which I really liked, first and foremost. Second of most, though, it's really weird when the game is like, this is an automatic fight that you're gonna kind of lose, versus this is one you can't lose. That is mixed up all over the place. I think, at least in the chunk that Justin played, that sometimes you're just like, you lose this no matter what, and sometimes there's 2 rounds, sometimes it's 1 round, and you never really know if is this a fight I can win, or is this a fight I'm not supposed to win? Because in RPGs and stuff, they usually make that very apparent, and here it's like not apparent at all. So it's not necessarily a bad thing, but it kind of take me aback for a bit. I was like, okay, that's kind of weird.
Yeah, weird. I kind of remember just eliminating every life bar, and then you lose where it's just like, oh, I took away their life bar, but my character loses and the story continues. You know, but you mean something different, right?
Like, cause sometimes a character you'll do your rage art for example, and they'll still have a chunk of health left,
Yes,
visibly on their life
and then
bar.
it goes into a cutscene.
Then either goes into a cutscene or they do their rage art and you get hit no matter what.
Yeah.
Like I was like, I'm blocking, I'm up in the air, I wasn't pushing buttons, I swear.
Yeah, you're actually not in control during those situations. It's a cutscene.
Yeah. And when it transitions into like a camera angle, you're like, oh, okay, that was a cutscene. So yeah, it wasn't necessarily a bad thing. It's just like different, like because Mortal Kombat makes it really apparent. It's like, you know, it zooms on your character and your character goes like, oh, I beat your ass down, like that was easy, and then it goes into a cutscene.
Yes.
It did promise what Tekken 7 initially promised, was like you'll never know like where the story sort of like it melds together with the gameplay.
Right.
I think they did a consistently better job here, especially like when a character jumps into a cutscene and they like do a kick and someone blocks it and then it cuts into the life bars come in just at that moment perfectly.
Yeah,
like that really helps with the presentation and stuff. So like I've been really enjoying it.
So
overall,
there's a lot of cool shit like that throughout the story where I almost like this significantly more than MK story stuff, because MK ultimately sets up some characters talk shit to each other. They fight for a round or two. This is completely different. I'm sorry, completely the same as the normal traditional game. And then they talk shit, and then they cuts to a scene. Every single story sequence is essentially like that, even the big finale of the game. So what I love about Tekken is that there's unique dialogue characters will have with each other and stuff, and cool cinematic slowdown moments. Like when I was doing an electric versus Kazuya with like another electric, the game went and slowed down, and it's like, this isn't a cutscene, bro. Like I did the input for this, and he just did it at the same time, and boom, cool. Like, and then Jin talks shit, fuck you, dad, like there is actually cool scripted things that happen while the fight goes on, and much less when characters do big cinematic things, they talk like extra shit, the camera zooms around, it goes in. I was like, this is fucking sick. This does not happen when you play this game. This is not like traditional gameplay shit, much less they just change move lists completely. And I don't know if anybody in here is a Jin main, but Jin is playing like Tekken 7 Jin. He doesn't have all of his moves because he hasn't gotten his groove back, so he's missing most of his moves, and he has his old moveset. I'm like, what the fuck? This is weird.
I think there's a line where Alyssa like does a diagnostic on him, and she's like, "You're down in every category, dude. You have debuffs on everything."
Yeah.
And just like
nerves.
Yeah, he's got tons of nerves, and just like,
I'm sad.
For like a good chunk, people are like, Jin's the worst. He's like, don't even put him in the ring. And he has to convince people, like, no, I can do it, honestly.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know.
So